Hello, Brubs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 332. Can you see this? I think you can see that. 332. These are all books that I purchased today. And yeah. Frank Lloyd Wright, Early Visions. This was a 33-cent book. Obviously, a coffee table size book. Nothing probably worth very much, but such is life, bruv. 1995. Exactly what you would expect from a coffee table book. On an architect showing pictures and blueprints of the house. Can you see that well, bruv? Can you see that well? Not really. Not really, bruv. That's better. That's better. Originally published as August Ausgeführt Bauten in Germany in 1911, Frank Lloyd Wright, Early Visions, reproduces the first book of photographs of Wright's architecture. Here are the works of what is called his Oak Park period, the years between 1893 and 1910, when Wright lived and worked in Oak Park. Maybe I should set up the computer so I can actually see if someone's commenting, since I can't see shit right now. We shall open it, bruv. Let's see what we can see. Alive, she cried. Alive! 332 is this? No, should be 333. Let us change it, bruv. 333. 333. All right. And we shall open this. All right. Now I can see if someone's talking. Fucking love that guy. Frank Lloyd Wright, my favorite architect. Yeah, Baba. See what's going on here. Are we back up to speed, bruv? Nothing's happening. Fishy babishy. Alright. We're behind. We are behind, but so what? Don't give a shit. Let's see what it shows. Kind of a shitty setup, I think. Alright. So here's the last folk hero. Fishy Babishi. The Last Folk Hero, The Life and Myth of Bo Jackson. A book which I already have the whatchamacallit version, large print version. By the author of Showtime, the sources for HBO's Winning Time, comes the defining biography of mythic multi-sport star Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. From the mid-1980s into the early 1990s, the greatest athlete of all time streaked across American sports and popular culture. Stadium struggled. I don't give a fuck. The Tiger. A True Story of Vengeance and Survival by John Vaillant. I wouldn't have got this, but it was the story takes place in a remote village in Russia's Far East. The tiger isn't just killing people. This is December 1997. It's annihilating them, and a team of men and their dogs must hunt it on foot through the forest in the brutal cold. As the trackers sift through the gruesome remains of the victims, they discover that these attacks aren't random. The tiger is apparently engaged in a vendetta. Injured, starving, and extremely dangerous, the tiger must be found before it strikes again. Again, bruv. Hello, bruv. Sounds like a great book that I'll never read, but sounds like a great book. Oracles of Empire, Poetry, Politics, and Commerce in British America, 1690 to 1750. David S. Shields. What's this shit? $10 to $14. I only paid $1 for it. This innovative study of previously neglected poetry in British America represents a major contribution to our understanding of early American culture, spanning the period from the Glorious Revolution to the end of King George's War. David Shields critically reconstitutes the literature of empire in the 13 colonies, Canada, and the West Indies by investigating over 300 texts in mixed print and manuscript sources, including poems and in pamphlets and newspapers. So who the fuck are these poems by? I don't know, it doesn't really say. Just have to look at the index. Empire of Evil. Evil. Antichrist in the Wilderness. Gallic Perfidy. Boston Principles. Papers. War in Massachusetts. I don't know. Doesn't really give any kind of concrete example. Agatha Christie books collection. The first 3 Hercule Poirot novels. The Mysterious Affair at Styles, The Murder of the Lynx, On the Lynx, and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Obviously a compilation. And I don't know what's up with these newer books that are just like a generic printing. I don't know if these are on demand or what they are. You would think Agatha Christie is still under copyright, but Peachtree Publishing House seems to make it look like it's not. I've got a shitload of Agatha Christie books, never read a single one. A History Lover's Guide to Detroit by Karen Risco. Photography by Rodney L. Arroyo. Detroit's auto heritage is known worldwide, but this fascinating city's history runs much deeper. Step inside the tiny recording studio where Berry Gordy, a young entrepreneur who faced tremendous prejudice, created the music empire that broke down racial barriers. Tour Art Deco masterpieces. Walk in the footsteps of Dr. Martin. What's this? The history of the 20th century? Why don't we go back to the Indians and storming of Fort Wayne or Fort Detroit, whatever the hell it was called. Great. Enjoy Detroit, Karen Risco. Signed by the biatch. Sinai to Zion. The untold story of the triumphant return of Jesus. Sinai to Zion unlocks the door to a treasure trove of oft-ignored Old Testament biblical passages that describe the return of Jesus in glorious technicolor detail. It is always a joy to read what Joel Richardson has to say, especially on the topic of the second coming of our Lord. Once again, he has delivered a fascinating study that begins at Sinai and goes all the way to Jerusalem. Stealing Shakespeare a memoir of madness, murder, and my search for the poet beneath the paint by Lee Durkee. Hopefully he's related to the fucking Durkee Spice family. Following his divorce, down and out writer and Mississippi exile Lee Durkee holed himself up in a Vermont fishing shack and fell prey to a decades long obsession with Shakespearean portraiture. It began with a simple premise. Despite the prevalence of popular portraits, no one really knows what Shakespeare looked like. That the Bard of Avon has gotten progressively handsomer in modern depictions seems only to reinforce the point. So what does this prick look like then? Well, I thought he was Francis Bacon to begin. Brawler Shakespeare. Spooky Shakespeare. Is that like Spooky Mulder? Holy shit, look at him. He kind of looks like fucking Eric Idle. Is that who that was? The Monty Python guy that looks like that? I'm Eric Idle, bruv. Gilroy. John Martin Gilroy, Justice and Nature. Kantian Philosophy, Environmental Policy, and the Law. The Law. Authors, too numerous to mention, have called for a new non-market-based normative framework for analyzing environmental problems. John Martin Gilroy has actually gone beyond the common admonition to provide one. Ethicists, policy analysts, and decision makers should take this Kantian attempt very seriously. No one should ever take Kant serious. But I guess you need Kant to make a claim on justice being entwined with nature and likely climate change. I guarantee is part of this, but I don't know. It might not be. The economic viewpoint. I don't know. Don't care. Sylvia Browne Phenomenon. Everything you need to know about the paranormal. And I only got this because it was free. So Sylvia Browne, author of numerous New York Times bestsellers, is back from the other side with her most comprehensive guide to the paranormal. There's no slowing down for Sylvia Browne. For nearly 50 years, well, she's dead now, but she has been giving countless readers and listeners spiritual advice and psychic predictions in Phenomenon, an A to Z compendium of all the things on the other side that influence our life here on Earth. Browne provides evocative stories and useful explanations to help make life on the other side real for everyone, illustrated throughout. All about men, with rare humor and refreshing common sense. An outspoken country doctor suffers his wise and salty approach to the art of living. Here is the down-to-earth advice on every complaint and disorder, including women likely to afflict the average man from birth to dotage. Oh my God, the print. Let her furnish the house as she wishes. Oh, shut up. I already dislike him. These books I bought to resell. I know this one's worth money. Slow Horses. But I don't know about Dead Lions. So I will sell them together and make some money off them after I get rid of this ridiculous blue sticker they put on there for a sale. But the most enjoyable British spy novel in years. The new king of the spy thriller. Hachette. And apparently these are English editions of the books. I'd never seen them and never heard of the guy, quite frankly, until tonight. So can't really see that, but Madame Bovary. Or was it Bovary? Cliff A. Cantor, 1969. There he is. Claire Victor. What does that say? I don't know what it says. D. Wiggins. Victor De Wiggins. A Tale of Provincial Life by Gustave Flaubert. This is only volume 1, but I'll accept it. 1904. Got this for 33 cents as well. Madame Bovary. I assume it's Bovary's, because I actually have a book that's called Madame Bovary's Ovaries, so I assume they rhyme. Yeah, nice 1904 book. Emerald Tablets, A Beginner's Guide by Billy Carson. Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. Do you yearn to know the deeper meanings of life? No. Are you ready to create the life you desire? No. If you answered yes to either one of these questions, then this book is for you. Join Billy Carson as he takes you on an adventure through time and space to uncover ancient secrets about life, the universe, and what it means to be human. Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, A Beginner's Guide, is a comprehensive guidebook that supplies invaluable information to help you unlock your highest potential. This is my highest potential. Collecting 10 million books. Look at this fucking... I didn't know Billy was a brother. Billy Carson, the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.com, is a host on Deep Space, a new original streaming series by Gaia. This series explores the secret space program, revealing extraordinary technologies and their potential origins. Billy Carson also serves as an expert host on Gaia's original series, Ancient Civilizations. Did not know Billy was a brother. Reclaiming a Life Through the Pages of a Lost Journal, the Red Leather Diary, which is convenient since I'm actually reading another diary of a woman whose diary I found at an estate sale like 10 years ago for $5. It's a 5-year diary, so I've been reading. I'm on the second year, 1939. I know how her life ends and where she dies and all that, but try to keep that wrapped up until there's no more information in the diary. I know when she got married. I know when she died. I know where she's buried, which is not far from here, about 10 miles away, and I will go there once it gets warmer. It seems that her husband's grave and hers are both almost overgrown with earth, soil, and grass, and whatever the hell else grows out there, which has nothing to do with this book, but I don't know what the story of this one is. Maybe I should read it. For more than half a century, the Red Leather Diary languished inside a steamer trunk. Rescued from a dumpster on Manhattan's Upper West Side, it found its way to Lily Koppel, a young writer who opened its tarnished brass lock and journeyed into taking portrait of a bygone New York, of glamorous nights at El Morocco and elegant teas at Schraff's during the 1920s and 30s, and of the headstrong, endearing teenager who filled its pages with her hopes, heartaches, and vivid recollection. This is almost in league with exactly what I have, because the one I have is of a woman named Mary Catherine Hester, who was born, I believe, in 22, and it details her teenage years in 1938 through 39, 40, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So would she be 20? And yeah, into her early 20s. This book seems pretty interesting as well. The whole 5 feet. What the great books taught me about life, death, and pretty much everything else. And by great books, I don't think he means like the Bible, but at a time when life seemed to be coming unraveled, Christopher Beha, is that his name? Yeah, R. Beha, had a chance conversation. In it, he learned that his grandmother, who was forced to drop out of school during the Great Depression, had educated herself by reading the Harvard classics, a set of great books compiled in 1909 that sought to make the best of world literature available to every American. Inspired by his grandmother's example and hoping to get his own life back on track, Beha decided to spend the next year reading all 22,000 pages of The 5-Foot Shelf. His chronicle of that journey from Plato to Dante, Shakespeare to Thoreau is a smart, big-hearted, and inspiring celebration of reading that deftly illustrates how books can save one's life. Let me grab the rest of these motherfuckers. Come here. The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, now a major motion picture. 7-year-old Wen and her parents, Eric and Andrew, are vacationing at a remote cabin in northern New Hampshire. Far removed from the bustle of city life, they are cut off from the urgent hum of cell phones and the internet. Their closest neighbors are more than 2 miles away in either direction. On a summer day, as Wen catches grasshoppers in the front yard, a stranger unexpectedly appears. Leonard is the largest man Wen has ever seen, but he is friendly, with a warm smile that wins her over almost instantly. Leonard and Wen continued to talk and play until there are 3 more strangers, 2 women and a man, all dressed like Leonard in jeans and button-down shirts, come down the road carrying strange, menacing objects. The Human Bridge Ford Motor Company, and this book is basically a rehashing of a movie, which I have not seen, but since I'm in the Detroit area and Dearborn, obviously Ford is a big industry here, as it is elsewhere, but this is where it started, and so I picked it up. I have a shitload of Henry Ford and Ford Motor Company stuff over that way on the shelves. But The Roots of Man. Travels in the Paved World by Ted Conover. Ted Conover. Conover's bravery and hardihood impressed me, but more important was the quality one associates with Steinbeck's heart. Steinbeck heart? With Steinbeck heart. What? With Steinbeck heart. No, I see. With Steinbeck heart. A breathtaking first-person adventure along some of the world's most fascinating and important roads. Roads unite people and sunder them. They both bind cultures across continents and highlight our differences. With his unrivaled passion and his famous eye for detail, Ted Conover explores 6 of these key byways worldwide in Peru, East Africa, etc. Nobody's Girl with Virginia Giuffria, a story of courage, finding light, survival, and hope. Colin Gary. I believe this is a memoir of Virginia Giuffria and her supposed abuse at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. But, I mean, now she's dead, so you can't really question the narrative anymore. Supposedly she's dead. Who knows if she's dead? People don't think Epstein's dead, and some people probably don't think she's dead either. Probably a CIA trick, but I don't know. But it's worth some money, so I'll probably read it on this channel if it doesn't get me a copyright strike. But yeah. The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo, a A.L. Burt publication, obviously a reprint. I don't know what year it's from, probably early 1900s, but obviously a nice collectible book for $1 that I picked up at the thrift store, so can't beat that. It's weird that I found two classics in Madame Bovary and Hunchback of Notre Dame amidst all those other books. A Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell. Ideological Origins of Political Struggles. And Sowell has to be getting into his 90s. I'm not sure how old Thomas Sowell is. Probably look, but Thomas Sowell. He's got to be 90-ish. And probably doesn't have many more. 1930 he was born, so he's what, 96? Jesus. Yeah, Sowell obviously is getting up there and probably not going to live much longer, but hopefully he lives another 20 years. One of the greatest debaters I've ever seen from his old clips of him, and one of the most knowledgeable dudes I've ever heard of. So I've been slowly collecting his books. This one's a bit marked up, as you can see, where you might be able to see it. But yeah, it's underlining and all kinds of stuff. What's this say? Marta Dapina Baru. I can call her. She's left her phone number. What's this say? E.F. Schumacher. Small is beautiful. Buddhist. Does it say Buddhist economics? Anyway, most of Sowell's books are worth some money, so I picked it up. And like I said, I have a better copy of that, which I'll probably sell. I don't know if I'll wait till he dies, but every time I see a book of his, I just realize that he's not long for this planet, but you never know. He could live to 120. Seems to be in good shape and good shape of mind, so never read one of his books, but I'd rather just listen to his old debates with people. The guy can pull out facts like nobody I've ever seen before or after him. There's the train. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. What did I pick up? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 18, another 22 books today. Not bad. Not bad. That's all, bruv. Unless anyone has something to interject here. That will be all. Need to go shower. All, bruvs. Anybody? No. All right then, bruv. That's going to be all for you. And I really want to do some more research on what's her name? Mary Catherine Hester, but running low on bandwidth for the day or for the month. And I don't want to add extra data, so I'm done. All right, bruvs, that's all. Goodbye.